I really, oh, thank you. I really appreciate your time. My name is Michelle Ricci, and I'm a holistic wellness and trauma recovery practitioner. I'm certified in nutrition and nutrition therapies, and I have a passion for regenerative health and regenerative farming. So again, thank you for spending your most precious commodity with us here tonight, and most importantly, for advocating for your own health and wellness. So we're here to talk about something that my community and I are really passionate about, which is immune support, and how gut health and creating habits and reducing pain in the body, stress reduction, or getting better sleep, really affects immune support, especially when we're coming into the holiday season and the fall. So a little about me. 6 years ago in the fall, I suffered a severe toxic trauma, which resulted in a brain injury. And to say I was sick is an understatement. I went to every doctor. They all had different ideas. Maybe some of you can relate, different diagnoses. They threw different drugs at me, which I only knew was going to exacerbate my toxic trauma. And I was so sick that I lived in my own bubble and even wore a mask before COVID because I was reacting to literally everything in my environment. So I really want to highlight the onset of this trauma that started in the fall. And when I look back on it, I remember burning the candle at both ends. I remember days shortening, but I was still running and doing the same gamut. I had a lot on my plate. My son was going back to school. I worked in the school system. And I just didn't slow down, even though the season was slowing. So I ran myself ragged, and basically, knowing what I know now, my body didn't stand a chance against viruses or bacteria or pathogens, let alone the toxin that I was exposed to. So fast forward six years and a lot of diligence building back my immune system. I made it a mission to make sure this doesn't happen to the people around me. So this is why I'm so passionate about sharing this message with you about the immune system. So let's just start with immunity and what is immunity. To be immune means to be protected. So it makes sense that the system of the body that helps fight sickness is called the immune system. So where is the immune system? The immune system is made up of the network of cells, tissues, organs, and they all work together to protect the body. And some of you may know this. I remember being surprised when I found out, but 70 to 80% of your immune system is in the gut. And the immune system is actually influenced and taught what to do by the gut microbiome. So this plays a large role in the development and the function of the immune system. So what weakens the immune system? Well, stress, acidity, stress could be psychological or emotional, physical or surgical, lack of exercise, lack of sleep, exposure to pollution, cigarette smoke, other toxins, poor gut health, excessive alcohol consumption, long-term use antibiotics, poor diet, nutrition deficiencies, the list goes on and on. And, I would be remiss to say if none of us didn't check off all of those boxes. And so how do we support the immune system? And that's a really great question, because we know that just having an immune system doesn't keep us from getting sick, but it is designed to help us get well. So in order to support the immune system, it's important that we make good environmental choices about what we put on and in our body. And this is cleaning supplies, personal care products, the environment that we live in and work in, and also nutrition, which is the component that I want to focus on as being foundational way to support the immune system by supporting our gut microbiome. So I love how this group is called Superfood Sustenance. And I think it's really aptly named. Sustenance means food or drink regarded as a source of strength or nourishment. So that makes sense. We'd be introducing you to this program, the Superfood program, which is the core 4 which is both our daily maintenance program and our 30-day transformation program. So what's inside and how does this support our immune system? So we have 5 products inside that we're going to be using over the next month together. And that's the Super Aminos 23. And this is revolutionary because on average, we only absorb a small percentage of proteins from the foods that we eat. I think it's somewhere between 11 and 13% of the protein that we eat is actually assimilated as nutrition in our body. And that's compared to the Super Aminos, which is 99% bioavailable. And goes straight to the organs, the muscles, the tissues, the nervous system within 23 minutes. So it's really quite remarkable. The owner and founder has said that 10 of these translates to the equivalent of 300 grams of protein from animal sources. So it's 100% vegan, and it has really profound rebuilding properties. So I take these every morning when I wake up, and I take between 16 and 20 of these a day. For our program, we're going to be doing 10 a day. Next is the Power Shake. This is whole foods, vine ripened and harvested, wind dehydrated at low temperatures at the farm. So these foods, the enzymes and the nutrient density and the enzyme value in this food is completely preserved when you use regenerative farming practices. And these farms are away from any major industry, and they go beyond organic standards. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because our gut health is a direct reflection of the soil health of the food that we eat. So food grown in healthy soil moves the body into an alkaline state. An alkaline state means a healthy gut. A healthy gut means strong immunity and vibrant health. So this is fantastic. Statistic is you would have to eat 90 carrots grown by today's standards to get the same antioxidant properties as 1 carrot grown in healthy soil. So that's really fascinating. Next is the Biometic. So this is our gut repair. And this is really special because there was an introduction of an herbicide in the 80s called glyphosate, which started killing off the health of the soil and the gut microbiome, and it caused degeneration and permeability in the digestive tract. And it also, which causes many neurological orders, which results in our gut being out of balance, basically. The depletion causes the inability of the digestive tract to absorb and assimilate nutrients. So this can show up as leaky gut or leaky kidneys or Crohn's or IBS or GERD. So we use Biometic to remove the toxins, nourish and rebuild the depleted gut microbiome, replenish the healthy biome, and strengthen our immune system as a result. This is really fantastic. Okay, so next we have the Zinc Aid, and I just love this. Look at how, I don't know if you guys can see how beautiful the color is, but this is all whole dehydrated foods. And when formulating Zinc Aid, the co-founder, Dave Sandoval, examined the essential elements in the human body that the human body requires to perform optimally and basically aid our immune system in resisting and defending itself against invaders. So there are key nutrients that were discovered through research that are commonly deficient in people who have chronic conditions, COVID patients, long haulers, and just our immune compromised population. And whoops, hang on one second. And by providing these key nutrients, which is basically the zinc, the C, the A, the D, and the E, we believe those are the most effective. And we can provide these key nutrients in whole food sources to people who might not be getting them otherwise. So a lot of people are doing like D3 and zinc supplements right now to try and protect themselves. And this is by far the best quality and density that I have ever found. So that is really exciting. Let's see, the next is the Apothecary. And this is an outstanding nerve tonic. This is the only fruit on the planet that has naturally occurring melatonin, and it helps our bodies produce our own melatonin. So An interesting study shows that women who have consistent melatonin in their system, it significantly reduces their risk for breast cancer. So that is huge. Plus, it helps our kidneys remove cellular waste through filtration, and it's an anti-inflammatory for the whole body, but specifically to the brain. So this is one of my favorite things. I take it before bed, but I often take it throughout the day as well, just to kind of take the edge off. Okay, so I think that's everything. Did I cover everything? Did I get a head shake from you guys? Okay, so these are the key nutrients. This is everything that I do. I do these core 5 nutrients every day, and sometimes more than twice a day. We in our household eat about half of what we ate before we started introducing these nutrients, and that's because we're truly nourished and hydrated on a cellular level. We don't have the same kind of cravings, and we buy and shop differently. So it's really not only great to boost your immune, but it's just an ideal reset for the whole family. All of our foods are tested in small batches for any pathogens and herbicides. And as someone who's recovered from a traumatic brain injury, this is something that these heightened standards are really important to me. So with the 30-day, you get enough for 2 superfood meals a day. And in the middle 10 days, we're cleaning the terrain a bit deeper, which really targets the opportunistic bacteria and parasites that can be present in the digestive tract. So there's a couple of ways that you guys can join us. So you can participate in the full 30 days, which includes this 10-day deep dive portion, and this will happen before Thanksgiving. Or you can start with us at the beginning of the month and do a 15-day immune boost that ends before the holiday. And the person who invited you here can help you determine which might be the best fit for you, for sure. And we also have a 30-day athletes version and modifications that can be made for pregnant and nursing mamas. So we all need support at this time of year, and the person who invited you here really can help you make a decision based on what your goals are. So I do know this time of year can be challenging with travel and desserts and family and everybody stuffing themselves. And there's not a whole lot of agreement for staying healthy. And so that's why I wanted to bring on a few friends and colleagues, and they're going to share why they're doing this reset with us and provide some helpful insights and hacks to effectively incorporate this into our routine as we go into the holiday season. So the first person that I want to highlight is Mary Jane. And Mary Jane, can you come off mute and maybe share with us for a few minutes why you're doing this with us and why it's important to you?
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. My name is Mary Jane, and I just wanted to hop on and say hi to everyone. And like Michelle said, just share one of my main reasons for diving into this 30 days to really boost our immune systems together. So just a little backdrop for you guys all. In my early 20s, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and this really disrupted my gut. Like I was not absorbing nutrients. I lost a lot of weight. My body became like very sensitive to everything, like really everything that I was consuming, putting on my body. And so with this shift that I had within my body, it also really made me shift how I approach the holidays, because I was no longer able to just go dive into the food table, the dessert table, and eat whatever I wanted, because this was going to have an impact on me later. And I wanted to make sure that I would feel good hanging out with friends and family. So with this shift, I had to start asking about what ingredients were in the foods that were brought, or I had to make my own food ahead of time and prepare that to bring it so I wouldn't get sick, so I could be with everybody, and to make sure that I could properly nourish my body so I could have the energy to be with everybody. So this holiday season, I'm pretty jazzed up, because I know that I'm not going into this holiday season feeling alone like I have in the past. I'm diving into this 30-day reset with a handful of you, a handful of friends, family, and people that I have yet to meet. And that really excites me, because it means that we have a whole community of people that are supporting one another through the holiday season. So I really encourage you, everyone, I really encourage you guys to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and let that breath out. And just think of one person that you would really like to hook arms with and run through these holidays with a healthy, holistic path. because I know that this journey is so fun with others around you. And I'm so excited to do this with each and one of you. And it's wild to think that there's so many people out there that feel the same way around the holidays. And we don't need to feel trapped or insecure in our bodies. And from my own experience, it can be a huge rabbit hole of anxiety and depression and fear going into the holidays. So being supported by one another is amazing. And I would really like to bring on my friend Amy next, who has also felt this in her own ways and her own way as well. So I want to welcome Amy to share some of her journey and why you're diving into this 30 days with us as well.
Hi, Mary Jane. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me share my story a little bit. My name is Amy. I have been using Purium for about 14 months now. And my little bit about my background, I have had severe depression and anxiety since I was about 14, and I'm 41 now. So, and about 10 years ago, I was actually diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So dealing with severe body pain all over really added to the depression and anxiety. So having an invisible illness and being around people and having to pretend that I'm okay, that was extremely hard. So I remember a lot of holiday dinners that I skipped and didn't show up to, or parties, either because of the pain or the anxiety or both really. So before I found Purium, I thought I was doing pretty okay though. 4 years previously, I had finally gotten my medical cannabis card in Illinois. And I was at that point where I was like, okay, what is actually this fibromyalgia that they're telling me I have? Or what are the side effects to all of these like 12 meds that I was put on? So my doctors actually decided they didn't want to work with me if I wasn't going to use what they were prescribing me. So I was really forced to find my own path. And that was terrifying. And at the same time, it really made me choose that I was going to survive and live. So I figured it out on my own, and I was able to get off of most of the pharmaceuticals with cannabis, that led me to CBD and kratom. But man, I was heavily using these and really like leaning in on these, and I was still at like a pain level of 5. I didn't have energy for the whole day. I still had sleep issues, and my anxiety and depression were coming in and out. They were creeping back in. So I was really calling out for something else, but I really had no idea what that was going to be until last August, when my best friend called me and told me that she had started this ultimate lifestyle transformation. And she was off her sleep meds, she was off her pain meds, and I could just hear in her voice that this was like something I needed to try. So when I started, I had no idea about eating organically or what an alkaline diet meant, anything like that. But I leaned in and I followed this shopping list. I cleaned up my fridge and I filled it with fruits and veggies. And by day 3, I was off kratom without any side effects, which was huge. Like I had previously stopped using it and I went into severe withdrawals. So like that was amazing. I was feeling great. I just stopped using cannabis altogether and really wasn't using CBD. And the one medicine I was still using was muscle relaxers to sleep, and I stopped using those. And I actually started dreaming again, and I hadn't dreamed in like years. And it was amazing. I was getting like restful sleep and waking up with energy and without pain. So by day 10, I had lost 10 pounds, tons more energy. By day 20, my depression and anxiety were gone. And when I completed this, I had lost a total of 17 pounds and my pain levels were at a 1 to 0. And I wasn't using anything besides Purium and just switching to an organic, gluten-free vegan diet. So I've stuck to this maintenance plan religiously. My body craves it now. I've done a few ULTs in between, and I've kept the weight off, and I don't deal with any kind of anxiety, depression, and pain anymore. Like, it's amazing. So when I think of immunity, I think of protection, and that is what I feel like this gives me by sticking to this, both mental and physical protection. So we spoke a little bit about our immunity being created in our gut. But did you know that like 90 to 95% of our serotonin is also created in our gut? And serotonin is the key hormone that stabilizes our mood, our feelings of well-being and happiness. So this hormone impacts your entire body. It enables our brain cells and other nervous systems to communicate with each other. And it also helps with sleeping, eating, and digestion. So I know for a lot of us, the holiday and winter season comes with some sadness, with the seasonal depression. So preparing now for that is a form of mental immunity. So I really can't explain how grateful I am to have found this and have a new life that I never thought was possible. Because I had doctors telling me that I had a chronic illness and that I needed to be on pills for the rest of my life. And that isn't true. It wasn't true. I'm hiking, I'm traveling, I go out and meet people without any fear. Like it's amazing. And I have a community. I didn't do this alone. My doctors dropped me and I got to do this with people to teach me. And like, that really meant a lot. So I have grown with like-minded people that are all like flipping this script on health and wellness. And I'm just really grateful. And the community was a huge part of why I stuck to this. So thanks, guys.
Oh, wow, Amy, thank you so much. And they really go hand in hand, the community aspect and the anxiety that comes up around the holidays when we want to do better and we're don't have a lot of agreement to do that. So that's why I want to bring Lindsay on next as our final share. And thank you so much, ladies, for your vulnerability. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. Lindsay is going to help us figure out how do we actually travel and go be around family, and like, what's the protocol? How can we incorporate this easily? I know she's got a plan that she's going to share with us, which I think will be really helpful. So welcome, Linz.
Hey, Michelle, thank you so much. And thanks for the opportunity to chat. So I live a wild life. I travel around with a rock band around the country. My partner manages a volunteer group, and the volunteer group partners with nonprofits in different cities. And so we travel with the band and manage the volunteer. I'm his co-pilot. So we're around a lot of people all the time. We've been doing this this year. This is the last weekend of it, and then we head back home. But it's been 6 weeks or more with a couple breaks in between. You can hear I'm in Las Vegas right now. You can hear Las Vegas out there. But anyway, so coming out of, our COVID bubble and breaking back into being around people was pretty intimidating for me. We, usually live pretty remote, in the same town as Michelle. We live in the mountains and keep to ourselves a lot. But it was, kind of a challenge to adjust to being around people and just being comfortable being around people. So I'm grateful to have found Purium in the past 2 years, and I've been experimenting on my own. I, thought I was the healthiest person I knew when I began my own personal journey, but incorporated all the superfoods and then immediately started noticing a change in my athletic performance and my sleep and my mental clarity. So I just dove in, and I'm the kind of person that just goes head first into something and tries it all. I want to feel it all to understand it. So I started trying more and more of these superfoods and realized like this is pretty potent stuff. So I take the same protocol as Michelle was talking about. And then when I'm on the road, I also incorporate a couple other things. I do, there's a food-based vitamin C that I take. And then I do, there's a Virusure is one of the products, and it's an antiviral. And I keep that for when I know if I've been around people that are sick, or if I feel particularly run down. You don't get great sleep every single night. So I know when I'm, when I'm kind of compromised in that space. And those are all on the sales too. Amy just mentioned that in the chat, but those products are all on the super sales that end at the end of the week. So get with the person who invited you here so you can take advantage of that. But on top of the superfoods, I mean, it's a holistic approach. And that's kind of my mission is for the past 18 years, I've been diving into this taking charge of my own health. And it's just so many different elements. We have to think about our basic needs. You have to stay hydrated, you have to stay fed, and you have to stay rested. You can't survive. And if those aren't in balance, then you won't thrive. And so just making sure that all of those are in check. Water first thing in the morning every day. And then followed by the superfoods. And then I love to incorporate, I can't remember if it was Amy or Mary Jane said, but a mental health element and just checking in with myself, especially when I'm on the go all the time. I mean, I wake up some mornings and I can't remember what coast I'm on, so I need that time to just ground myself, whatever that means to you, however that works for you. I like to sit and take 1 to 5 minutes of just quiet time, and then write a little journal of my gratitudes for the day. Best if I can do it outside next to a tree or on the beach if I'm really lucky. But even, do what you can with your own space. And then I don't drink. Alcohol just completely tanks your immune system. So even if you just want to dive in for 15 or 30 days, if you do like to enjoy cocktails, I would just totally recommend just cutting that out for a little bit and see how great your body feels. And that doesn't need to mean forever, but just in the time where you're focusing on building your immune health, I just can personally attest to how much healthier I stay when I know that I don't have any alcohol. And then also just choosing good food choices, we stock up at the store in between big drives, so we're not stopping and getting those impulse, 2 a.m. Fritos from the gas station, but we actually have something nourishing in the car, so we travel with 2 coolers, lots and lots of fruit and avocados and just all the good things. And then I think one of the most important parts, like I said before, is good sleep. So we included in the pack is that apothecary that Michelle was talking about, the tart cherry juice, and it just stimulates your natural production of melatonin and gets you into that deep REM cycle where you're actually doing cellular repair. Yeah, I think that's kind of the basis. I lost track of time. I don't want to talk everyone's ear. I want to be respectful of your time, but again, like everyone else who spoke, I can't say enough good things about it. My only regret is that I didn't say yes sooner. So I totally suggest jumping on board and getting into this community. It's so supportive, and I'm grateful for it every day.
Yeah, I love that, Lindsay. Such a rock star. If you can, everybody, just go ahead and drop one takeaway in. I mean, there were so many golden nuggets there, but maybe just drop a takeaway in that you heard somebody say that you resonated with. And I really like that, Lindsay. I do that too. I do a lot of food prep ahead of time, and just, count out my nutrients, make sure I have what I need with me, because I am being nourished and just setting myself up for success. So I appreciate that insight. And yeah, so just drop some takeaways in the comments. It looks like some people here would love to learn how to incorporate it into their travel routine. So you can get with Lindsay on that. Okay, so let's wrap up here. We can do a few minutes of Q&A afterwards. I just wanted to tell you what the Superfood Sustenance community entails or includes, which is our Superfood Facebook page, where there's going to be, exercises, holiday recipes, tips for supporting the immune system and self-care. And so we're really just going to dive in deep with the different facilitators, some people you've heard here talk today and some others. And so how to join is you just get back with the person that's invited you here, and they can help you decide which option might be a good fit for you. And also something that just occurred to me is that we're going to be completely plastic free by the end of the year. And there's still quite a few products that are coming in plastic containers. So the bee in your bonnet is that these sales until the end of this month, they're blowing out the plastic containers so that they can make room for the new the new packaged product. So these deals are really outstanding. So make sure you talk to the person if you have other goals and you want to support yourself a little deeper. We can help make recommendations as the sales come up. So that's really about it. The person that invited you here has a discount code for you so that you can get reduced nutrients as well. And I just really want to thank you again. And then we have a winner, drum roll. Bree won the Zinc Aid. So Bree, I don't know who invited you here, but again, get with that person. Is it Amy? Well, congratulations to both of you. And so Amy will get you connected with your free product. And the one thing that I did want to say is that if you order within the next couple of days, because of these sales, it's offsetting the price of the expedited shipping, which is what you probably will need to do unless you live in California to get the kit in time to start, so that we're, wrapping up the deeper cleanse or the deeper portion before Thanksgiving. So I believe that the kit is like $369 with the Zinc Aid, and I think it's $339. So thanks everybody for coming. If you want to stop the recording, I'm happy to stay on with some of the other facilitators and we can answer some questions if anybody has any.